Good afternoon. It's lunchtime, which means time for some coffee and some code and some chat. Let's see. We need to alert the Discord homies that we are live. All right. We're thriving. We're thriving. Huh. You know, I kind of had some inspiration. Network Bib, hello. Hello, Network Bib. Let's see. Can you use a bot to automate live stream notifications? I'll bet you can. I bet there's already probably existing bots. But it might be fun to maybe try to build my own Discord bot. I've never built a Discord bot. I know that's kind of like a canonical programming tutorial. Let's see. Might be fun to try that though. Like if you YouTube, I think if you go on YouTube and you just search for like Discord bot tutorials, I think there's a lot of them. Oh yeah, there's tons of them. But I'm sure there's an existing one out there that you can probably hook up, connect to your YouTube and connect to your Discord server, and off to the races. I just haven't done that yet. Use Meep or something. Yeah, I'm sure there's something existing. I'm not familiar with Meep, but let's see, Meep Discord. Me6 is the best Discord bot for your Discord server. Yeah, just, you know, it's way down there on the priority list. You know what I mean? You know, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many things you can do. And so that one just is way down on the task list, way down on the to-do list. I think today actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to screw around with Claude, what is it? Claude Code. So this is like Anthropic's agentic coding assistant. I always love these blurbs. This is a research preview. Basically, this blurb means, hey, it may fuck up, so be prepared. Okay, so let's see. Currently, Claude Code does not run directly in Windows, instead requires WSL. If you encounter issues in WSL, when running Claude, your WSL environment may be using Windows installation of Node.js. You can confirm this with which npm and which node. Which should point to Linux paths starting with user rather than Mount C. To fix this, try installing Node via your Linux distribution's package manager. Oh, what? You can't just install. You can't just install this on. That's kind of painful. I don't know. Now I'm having second thoughts because I don't really want to. I don't really want to have to install Node on my WSL. So it has to be Mac or Windows via WSL. Well, maybe then I'll look at GitHub's agent mode instead of Code Claude. Network bib. Wait, you use Edge? Yeah, fucking right, I use Edge, bro. Yeah, like you're gonna judge me for using Edge? Alex, Edge is just Chromium nowadays, anyways. Yeah, it's a wrapper around the Chromium engine, like most of the browsers out there are. I'm pretty sure Opera is the same way. But I like Edge. So the thing that made me move to Edge was they have support for vertical tabs out of the gate. And Chrome, or at the time when I switched from Chrome to Edge, Chrome required you to find a third-party plugin. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I switched. Network bib, Opera on. Yeah, I mean, the browser war things, I say use the browser you want, you know? I ain't gonna judge you. It's like people who write Python. I'm not gonna judge you. Stefan, migrating from i3 to Sway. Network bib, try the Arc browser. Yeah, I'm not interested in giving a new browser a try. Let's see, migrating from i3. So what is Sway? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Sway is. This must be a Linux thing, huh? I mean, I haven't heard of any security concerns with Arc. I know of the Arc browser. I'm happy with the browser I got. You know. Alex, I refuse to use a browser that makes me create account to sign in. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's an i3 alternative that's made around Wayland Compositor. That whole sentence, just like Stefan, just that whole sentence was just like, woo, over the top of my head. Just, I'm not as deep, I guess, into the Linux world as you, Alex. But at the same time, I sort of understand the Rex. Well, yeah, I mean, what thing do you use nowadays that doesn't require you to have a user account? You know, everything. Yeah, no, Stefan, I don't mean like I don't mean that what you said wasn't correct. I just meant like I wish I could interpret that sentence. I wish I had more knowledge to be able to understand what it is you're getting up to. I think okay. So I wanted to explore one of these. I wanted to explore either Claude Code or Copilot Agent mode. So I think I'll just do Copilot Agent mode is what I'll do. So let's open up Visual Studio here. Visual Studio Code, in my case. And let's get a rockin'. Okay, so if I open chat, so the way this works in VS Code is now Copilot has these like modes that you can put it into. So right now it's in ask, but I can stick it into agent mode, which is where it basically kind of gives you the cursor-like experience from what I understand. And then you can also pick different models. I think I'm going to try... I probably don't need thinking. I think I'm going to try 3.7 Sonnet. And let's see, we'll stick into agent mode. And let's see if this can do. So I have a task in mind to try to get it to create for me. This was something I had to do on Friday, last Friday. So let me open up Excalidraw. Okay, so I had this task on Friday where I needed to create a Word document. So I need a Word document. It needs to be filled with with fake text. Like even, hold on, let me blow this up a little bit. It needs to be filled with just like lorem ipsum text. Fake text. Lorem ipsum. And then, actually this probably shouldn't be in the thing, put it off the side. So this is a Word doc. Docx. But it needs to be a specific size, right? So I needed to generate a Word document that was greater than 10 megabytes, filled with just like garbage stuff. And I did this manually, but I thought, you know what? This would be an interesting thing to see if Claude could do this just with code. Or I guess in this case, it's Copilot using Claude. Nikki, what's up, Nikki? How are you? What the hell is that set of emojis? Hey, look at a peanut? I don't... Oh, hey, look nut? I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say, Nikki. We're gonna see if VS Code, or we're gonna see if the Copilot agent mode. We're gonna vibe code, Nikki. We're gonna do a little vibe coding. Okay, so basically, what I want at the end of the day is I want a console. I want a console application, built-in TypeScript. And I can specify the size of the file of the Word document in bytes, and the application will generate it. That's basically what I want to do. Okay, so let's go into agent mode here. And let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so this is where we have to play a game of tokens in to get the right tokens out. So we just need it to create a project first and scaffold everything out. Okay. I want to create a console application that is written in TypeScript. The console application should allow me to specify a number of bytes, and then it should create a Word document of that size. The Word document should be filled with lorem ipsum text, and it should be able to be edited in the Microsoft Word program. Alright, let's see what it does here. Nikki, V0 is way better. Oh well, it's a console app, so I don't need V0's pretty designs. It's just gonna be a console application. Network bib. What is that website and what is it used for? This? Are you talking about this? The ScalaDraw? There you go. It's just like a diagramming tool. You can, like a whiteboarding type of tool. It's my personal favorite. It has an integration with Obsidian too. So if you're an Obsidian user, there's a plugin that lets you do ScalaDraw in Obsidian. Nikki, I got something for you. What do you got, Nikki? What is it that you have? Okay, let's see what, let's see. Okay, I'll help you create a TypeScript console application that generates a Word document of a specified size filled with Lorem Ipsum text. Let's start by setting up a new TypeScript project. First, I'll create a new workspace for your project. Okay, so I click open an empty folder to continue. Copilot requires an empty folder as a workspace to continue workspace creation. I guess I should probably say allow in this workspace. And then we'll put it here. Well, that's all. These are all my projects. I don't want that to happen. So what's it doing? Okay, well that didn't seem to work. Okay, so okay, so let's go back. Network bib, why aren't you using Vim? I mean, not using Vim because Vim doesn't have Copilot agent mode. That's only a VS Code feature. Network bib, I need to sleep in a few minutes. Yeah, man, do your thing. You are not accountable to me, man. I'm just some random guy in Kansas, so live your life. What do I want to call this? Word doc generator. Okay. Now let's open this in VS Code. Maybe we'll try in a blank folder. Maybe this will work better. Let's put it in agent mode. Let's see. I'd like to create a console application written in TypeScript that allows me to generate a well-formatted Word document of a particular size specified in bytes that is filled with Lorem Ipsum text. Windsurf is like Cursor. You should try it. I'm doing VS Code Copilot right now, Nikki. You're trying to push me off to another editor. Quit it. But no, I probably should try Windsurf. I should try Cursor. I haven't tried Cursor. Network bib. Maybe build your own Copilot plugin for Vim. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a... There is a Copilot plugin for NeoVim. It just doesn't have the agent mode experience. And I'm not interested in figuring out how to implement all of this kind of functionality that you see right now happening in NeoVim. Nor maybe do I have the developer chops to do it. Nikki, sorry, just note it for another day. Yeah, man, stop trying to distract me all the time. Alright, let's, so it's going to run this command. Looky there. We got ourselves a package.json. Okay, run command in terminal. npm install TypeScript. Okay, that sounds right. We're going to install TS Node. docx. Yep, that's okay. That's a good one. Docx is what you use if you're working in JavaScript on the server. I think it works in the browser too, to edit like Excel files, Word documents. I've used that before. Lorem ipsum, I've never used that. That must be another package. All right, let's just install this all. All right, it worked. Oh, that's kind of weird. It asked to install it twice, and for some reason it thought there was an issue the first time. Okay, I noticed there might be some issues with the terminal output. Let me try again with the installation. I'll install one at a time. Why does it think that there's errors? It's not erroring, but Copilot for some reason thinks there are errors. Elias, what's up, Steven? How's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Elias? I don't know. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. Network bib. The electromagnets won't work for the nanobots. Ah, that's too bad, man. Ran into another blocker, huh? I don't understand the Peanuts reference. I don't get it. Pablo, time moves so quickly. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, for whatever reason, GitHub Copilot is like hallucinating right now because it did, it installed all these dependencies successfully, but for whatever reason, it thinks it's not working. So we need to. I'm just gonna start a new chat window. This is the part of the whole AI code thing that I just okay. Can you figure out what I'm trying to build by looking at the existing files in this repo? Nikki, what I've learned is that you should give small detail in the beginning, then after that you can give more detail. Network bib. I daily use AI. Pablo, I've been in 3 streams in a row and they feel like 10 minutes apart. Yeah, time goes fast, man. It really, really does. Like as a parent, there's a kind of this saying that people say, like parents say, that like the days are long but the years are short. Yeah, so that's how time goes for me. The days feel kind of long sometimes, but the years go by really fast. Alright, did it figure it out? So it says, looking at the directory listing, I can see that your project is indeed in the early stages. Based on these files, I can confirm that you're setting up a Word document generator application using TypeScript. Yep. Since there aren't any TypeScript files or configuration yet, it seems you're just getting started. I am. Would you like me to help you with the initial and create a basic example? So we'll follow Nikki's advice. We'll say that sounds about right. Yes, that sounds right. That sounds right. I want to build a console application where that generates a Word document that is filled with fake text, but of a specified size, that I can, that I can specify on the command line in bytes. Excuse me. All right, created a TypeScript config file, and it wants to make. I'm just gonna let it do it. I'm not gonna intervene or do anything. I'm just gonna totally let it try to work itself out. Let's see. Want to keep this. I mean, this looks pretty basic, right? We're including source. We're excluding node modules. We have a dist folder. Let's close this other tab so we have a little bit more. Okay, it's writing something. Oh, here, look, this is kind of interesting. It's exposing the fact that it's using some sort of tools under the hood, right? It's whenever it talks to the Anthropic API, somebody is passing it a get errors tool, and it knows how to generate input for that tool, and then VS Code probably actually runs that code to actually get the error messages. It's crazy how fast this stuff generates code, though, ain't it? It's pretty wild. Melio, have you changed the microphone recently? No, I haven't. Why? Does it sound louder? Or maybe my music might be louder than what it usually is. Yeah, the microphone's the same as it's always been. Maybe I haven't really. This microphone hasn't been on stream a lot. I usually have the camera zoomed in more than this. Also, the camera's getting a little too bright. Alright, so this thing finally stopped generating. Okay, great. All errors have been fixed. The code is now ready to use. I've created a console application that generates a Word document filled with fake text of a specified size to generate a 1 megabyte Word document, to specify a custom output path. Alright, let's take a look at its code. Hold on, I'm going to adjust my camera, and let's take a look at what code it generated. It's already 2:30. Holy crap. Alright. So what happened to my context window? It like all went away. Okay, so that sucks. Control Alt I. How do we Control Alt B? There we go. Alright, so this was the code it generated for us. So I've never used this library for, so I just have to kind of take its word for granted, because I don't know how to use lorem ipsum. FJ1900, what are you coding? FJ1900, it's like this is basically just like I'm trying to see if GitHub, if Copilot in agent mode can complete a task that I did manually on Friday, which is I had to generate a Word document that was 10 megabytes in size, filled with a bunch of fake text. And so I'm seeing if Copilot can write me a tool that would have saved me the time I spent doing that. It's kind of a silly task, but I've not used the agent mode in VS Code, so I wanted to give it a try. Stefan. All right, just installed Sway. I have my config and everything. Wow, super easy. Okay, very cool, man. I'm glad your migration was swift. Tiger Morph. Hey, what's up, Tiger Morph? How are you? Good to see you, man. Okay, then we have a generate document function. Let's see. The relationship between text content and final doc size is not 1-to-1. So using an approximation factor, docs files are usually larger than raw text. So we generate paragraphs until we reach the approximate target size. Yeah. Now, how's it figuring out? How's it figuring out the target size? It's just going based on length? That's not going to work. I don't think that's going to work. Okay. Oh, it added some validation for checking if the passed in value is a number. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is gonna be accurate. But let's try it. So I'm guessing, did it add a build command? Yeah, it did. Okay, so we can say npm run, let's see, npm run build, and then we can do, oh, it's actually using TS node, so I guess I didn't have to build it. Okay, so we'll just say npm run start, and then I need to pass it. I think this prints a help message. Yeah, here we go. So let's do npm start. Okay, so I don't think this is right. So where's the output here? So this isn't right. So see, you can see like, this should be a megabyte and it's only 172 kilos, right? Kilobytes to megabytes. Yeah, so 172 kilobytes is only 0.17 megabytes. Well, VS Code. Yeah, this should be the resulting file I would expect to be 1 megabyte, but it's not. So let's see if VS Code can troubleshoot its way out of this. Not VS Code, I should say GitHub Copilot. Actually, I shouldn't even say GitHub Copilot. I should say Claude Sonnet, because that's the underlying model that it's using. Okay, I guess we need to open up the chat window again. And we can say, hey, the resulting file was not the size I asked for. I gave it the following command. npm start, and the resulting file was only 172 kilobytes. Can you fix what you wrote to make the file the correct size? See what it does. Hold on, I missed some comments here. Cursor competitor. Yeah. How do you motivate yourself to finish your projects? I often start something and leave it half-baked. Tiger Morph, this one's kind of tough to answer, man, because it's kind of along the same lines as, like, working out. Like, people ask me, like, how do you work out? How do you stay regular with your workouts? And it's just a decision. Like, I've just made the decision that I'm going to be the kind of person who finishes what they start. And that is enough to motivate me. Like, I do not want to be a person that starts projects and doesn't finish them. So I know that's not really helpful advice, but that's just, I've kind of like accepted that as part of my self-identity, like the story I tell myself about myself. So Nikki's trying to push windsurf and cursor on everybody. Stefan's like, bro, I use NeoVim. No more IDE. I'm okay. Stefan said, I wrote it in capital letters in my journal. Nikki, who else wants to... Are you really... Nikki, that to me is kind of like a gray area chat message. I don't care for that chat message. Nikki, I gotta play some GTA 6 for now. Yeah, go do that, Nikki, because I don't know, that one where you said who else wants to you know what right now, that kind of doesn't strike me right or well. I just love Stefan's comment. I wrote it in capital letters in my journal. Such a smart ass. That's what I would have said though. Yeah, Nikki. Yeah, Nikki, I don't know what the fuck's going on in South Africa today, bro, but that chat message is just, it's a little over the line for me. I don't need to know about all your bodily desires at the moment. I don't think chat needs to know either. Stefan, no, I really have. Take a look at your journal Discord. Okay, hold on one sec. I'm looking, but I don't see anything. I just see a Reddit link you shared. All right, let's see what Copilot tried to do here. I'll help you fix this issue. It's not my issue. You wrote this, Copilot. Don't tell me you'll help me fix. This is your issue. The problem is likely with the calculation used to estimate. Nice, Stefan. Nice. If I ever need an IDE, I should try out Windsurf. Wonderful. I see it now. Yeah. Okay. So what did it do? First, let's examine the existing code. Looking at your code, I've identified the issue. You're trying to generate a document of 1 megabytes, but the actual output is only... Looking at your code, I've identified the issue. and then it proceeds to tell me exactly what I already told it the problem was. Okay, the current problem is in these lines. Using an approximation factor, Your approach. It's not my approach. You wrote this. Copilot is trying to gaslight me right now. Your approach assumes that raw text will be compressed into a smaller docs file, but actually the opposite occurs. Docs files are typically larger than the raw text they contain due to XML formatting, styles, and other metadata. Let me fix this for you by implementing an iterative approach that will get you closer to your target file size. Okay, so what did it do? Okay, so now it's looping. It's calculating some sort of size ratio. Oh, and it's getting the actual size from disk each time. That's a much better approach, I think. The problem is though, I think this approach is gonna exhaust memory. Because I think it's generating all this text in memory, which isn't gonna work, I don't think. Okay, let's keep this. And now let's basically try to do the same thing we just did. Well, it didn't run out of... Let's see, adjusting target, new expansion factor, new target count. Generation complete after 3 iterations. Let's take a look. So what does it read on disk? Yep. 1024 kilobytes. Which is, let's see, kilobyte 1024. That's 1 meg. Little over 1 meg, depending on if you're using that 1024 or 1000. Okay, so that's the right size. Let's see if this can actually be opened in Word, because it needs to be editable in Word. Nikki, Steven is not going to be a vibe coder soon. No, I will not be a vibe coder. Okay, so it did work though. So I have a 1 megabyte file, and there's text in there, and I can edit it. So that's, I mean, props to Copilot. I don't know if I would have been able to do that this fast. Okay, so, I mean, I definitely could have gotten here, but I think the one problem here in its approach is it's doing this all in memory. So I'm pretty sure if I try to get it to generate a 10 megabyte file, I think it's going to fail. Megabyte. Let's see, mega byte. No, I want to go from megabytes to bytes. Megabyte to byte. So that's 9. So this needs to be 0, 2, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I think this is gonna exhaust. I think this is gonna fault out. See how far it goes here. All these nut jokes today. What's up with you guys? All right, so something something has gone wrong because it's stuck right now. think I think Nikki's the problem today. Nikki is a real problem. Maybe we need to time out Nikki from the channel. Like take a 30-minute or hour break from Nikki. Elias. Guys, what's the relation between e-commerce and Excel? Does the Excel expert consider a programmer? I don't know. I think you could consider an Excel expert a programmer. Depends on what they're doing. You know, they could be writing real macros with like VB. You know, so there's the possibility they're doing some actual coding in Excel. Relationship between e-commerce and Excel. There's not, other than just being able to look at data in a spreadsheet. That's the only thing I can really think of. Yeah, I'm allergic to the nut jokes. For sure. Is everyone gonna get timed out this stream? Just everybody? Just all my regular chatters all get timed out? Yeah, data entry. Yeah, that would be the only real relationship I can think of, Elias, between Excel and e-commerce. Is like e-commerce like exporting Excel files and being able to manipulate data in Excel, or maybe you have some functionality in your e-commerce site that allows you to pull in data. That would actually be a pretty cool command to have in YouTube. Just timeout star glob pattern for everybody. Alright, honestly, I have no idea why this is just stuck. Let's try again. See, this is the part of vibe coding where it's like, okay, if you get to this point and you're stuck and you can't figure it out, you just have to try to prompt the LLM. Or you're going to have to read the LLM's code and try to figure out what the hell it's done to screw itself up. Because I know it got here. But now it's down here. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Copilot has done. Let's see. There's guys outside mowing our yard, and they keep setting off my Ring doorbell notification. Let's see. I gave it this command. But now the app goes through one iteration and then just hangs. What is wrong with your code? At everyone /Control-C. I don't know. I literally say some streamer banned like 70% of his chat with this script. That's pretty intense. Imagine getting an image that cannot get rendered. You know, like that one that was killing people's phones, and just make it as a kill stream button, and you press it, we just all crash. Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. Although I'd be afraid people could like come after me for hacking them or some like DDoS attack. Oh man, that mowing's loud. See, I see the problem. The code is trying to generate too much content at once for a very large file size, which is causing it to hang. Let's fix this by implementing a chunked approach to generate larger files more efficiently. Okay. Sounds like a good plan, man. Whatever you say, Copilot. Whatever you say. This is not as much fun, though, as coding yourself. I'll tell you that. Pablo LL docs is a zip file. There is no way it can calculate ahead of time how long it's going to be. Yeah, it literally needs to just write it to disk, read it from disk, and that's like, it needs to just loop in that fashion, which is a lot of I/O, but you're right. Okay, so we'll keep this because obviously you have a plan, so we'll keep this. Well, what I was gonna say is that while this is cool, while this is very cool, if somebody said this is the only way you can program from now on, I probably wouldn't keep programming and coding, because this is not as much fun as implementing and writing code yourself, in my opinion. Like, it's impressive, and I can see why people who don't write code or aren't interested in writing code could enjoy this, but if you guys told me, like, Steven, you can only vibe code on stream from now on, you have to use one of these AI editors, I would probably move on with my life. It's just not as enjoyable of an activity for me. All right, so let's try its new approach. So this should be a 10 megabyte file. Let's see what it does here. It's only at 8%, 9%. I'm curious what it did, though. So generate large document. So test file path. Yeah, so it's basically just generate 5 million characters at a time. Create the raw text. Yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't just fill the document with some text, write it to the file, and then check the size of the file and just repeat that until it gets to the right size of the file. Not sure why there's a need for like a temporary file here. Nikki, I gotta go. Have a nice day, everyone, guys. See you later. Not for real, this is just cross. Come on, man. You're begging for it. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh no, probably don't want to hide user from the channel, but we'll just put him in a timeout. Confirm. Although the stream's getting ready to end in 7 minutes. Pablo, LOL, that's horrible. Well, there you go, Nikki. 30 minutes. He's out of here for 30 minutes. I don't know what the deal was with Nikki today. He was, I don't know, feeling feisty or saucy. I don't know. He must be a male under the age of 20 years old. Listening to Michael Bublé sway on Sway while configuring Sway. That indeed is meta, my sir. Okay, so it looks like it progressed to the end. Packing document to docs format? Is that what's hanging it? Yeah, this is not working so well. I would say that is really Sway. Yeah, it's just hung. I'm gonna kill this because I'm afraid it's gonna it's gonna crash everything. Okay, well, I mean, Copilot, I gave you a try. Excuse me, but I don't think it's gonna get there on its own. Wonder why it's doing this. Write stream.end. Oh, because it's creating a write stream, and that's reusing that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking you don't want to open the file into memory every time. I'm thinking there's got to be. I wonder if there's some way in the docs file to just append to an existing. Oh, you guys can't. I've made VS Code too big for the screen, haven't I? There you go. Okay, well, call my first agent mode like, I don't know, it's like kind of a success because it wrote a lot of code, and the code does seem to do stuff. It doesn't quite do what I want it to do. But maybe I'll take a stab at this problem myself and see if I can come up with a solution myself. That was fun, though. I want to try Claude Code, but it sounds like I have to install that on WSL, so I need to do a little bit of reading to make sure I set things up correctly. But that was a fun way to spend an hour. Stefan, I told you vibe coding ain't good. Yeah. It's not as much fun. Like, I would have had more fun, I think, if I had just sat down and tried to solve that myself. I wouldn't have been able to write code that fast, but I would have had more fun, and I think I probably would have been further along to like an actual correct solution. Elias, is this data manipulating what just happening, or was it checking all the libraries? Elias, that was just Copilot writing a script to generate to try to generate a document of a particular size. Pablo, you want an unzippable string. Stefan, see ya, everyone. Have a nice day. Are you out of here, Stefan? See you, man. Have a good day. I've got like another couple minutes anyways, or another 60 seconds or whatever, and then I'm gonna have to head back to work. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me over lunch. It's nice of y'all to chill. Pablo, you use it when there's a simple problem you really don't care about writing some very simple code. Yeah, I can. Yeah, and I've definitely done that, right? Like what was the most recent thing? I had it write like I wanted to have dates in my front end formatted in a particular way, and so I was like, hey, just write me a small function that, you know, always formats the date in this fashion, right? So I can totally see the benefit of Gen AI helping you code. But I can't imagine trying to build a whole, like a whole thing with it, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't excite me the same way as actually coding excites me. So. Yeah, I do this. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think it's also really helpful for like when I was working on that Hano project that I worked on recently, where I was using Hano to build like a little web API. That was a great example of where like I knew what I wanted, but I had never worked in Hano before, so I could just tell the AI, hey, how would you do this in Hano? And like, so I kind of knew what I wanted, but I'd never used this particular technology. It was pretty helpful for that. I mean, the docs are helpful for that too. If you want to use it for the whole thing, You got to split the problem, but still do all the thinking yourself. Yeah. And I think, Pablo, where I'm at personally is just, if I'm going to do the thinking myself, then I'd rather write the code myself. Because then I understand the code. I can apply my small little preferences and personal touches to the code that I like. Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, guys, this was fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I tried to be a prompt engineer, while I tried to be a vibe coder. I am glad that I tried it. Like, I need to, obviously, part of staying up to date with technology and staying relevant is with what's going on in the world is you need to try things. You can't be closed-minded. But I don't think vibe coding is my future. All right, guys. I got to head back to work, but I appreciate y'all chilling with me. Pablo, thank you. Stefan, thanks for hanging out. Elias, thanks for chilling, man. Appreciate you. Who else was here? Nikki, I'm sorry I timed you out, but the nut jokes were pushing the line today. Yeah, I think that was everybody. All right, guys. I'll see y'all.